Everyone, welcome everyone back to the channel. Today we're talking about Kristen Crowley. Listen, she is not playing. She's making her rounds to all the news stations to let them know, listen, yes, I know I'm the fire chief, but don't blame me because it's their fault. Don't even look at me because guess what's happening? They cut my money, so I couldn't do things to prevent this madness from happening. And trust me, she came with receipts. Let's check it out. Woo!
For what we need to, that is my job as the fire chief of the best fire department in the world.
In December, you wrote that memo. You said that these budget cuts were going to severely affect your department from everything from brush clearance checks to make sure homeowners were doing what they needed to do to fire hydrant checks. And yet you heard the mayor just yesterday say, no, those cuts did not affect the ability to serve and would not have changed anything in this situation. What is going through your mind? And I know this is difficult. There are a lot of politics at play. You are not a politician. You are the woman responsible for all these men and women at LA City Fire and for our residents in the city of Los Angeles. When you hear the mayor say it didn't affect anything at all, what is going through your head? If you can share that with us.
Sure. So just full transparency. Again, my position is to make sure that our people get what they need to do their jobs, and also, mind you, that they get to go home to their families. The amount of calls that our firefighters are running today has doubled since 2010, a 55% increase with 68 less people. Full transparency, this isn't a new problem for us. Since the 3 years that I've been in the seat, I've sounded the alarm to say we need more. This is no longer sustainable. So with that, we're now in a position to be properly funded. We are screaming to be properly funded to make sure that our firefighters can do their jobs so that we can serve the community that we took an oath.
But when
You see that? She came with the stats. She was not playing. She like, listen, I'm going to give him the full tea. We short on men. We short on money. And if you shorten money, we don't have the resources to give the people overtime. Because, listen, first of all, I would like to say thank you to New York FD. Yeah. Many times in the past, I have cursed y'all name because sometimes we come up certain streets, my car just washed, come out flossing, feeling good. And there's a whole puddle of water because y'all guys further up the block opening fire hydrants, all willy-nilly, doing fire hydrant checks. Thank you for keeping us safe. Thank you for doing those type of checks. Now back to what I was saying. I said thank you, right? Thank you, FDNY. Thank you. Now, listen. What she's saying is so valid. Because now you cut money, so that means certain overtime, because I'm pretty sure that's overtime, going around, opening hydrants, stuff like that, because they're supposed to, let's imagine they going to do some quote-unquote fire hydrant checks, and they got to go east. Then some come up, that's west. They further away from the problem. So now they got to double back, deal with traffic, LA, you know how that is, and all this other nonsense. So now they got to stay put. Yeah. What are you going to do? Right? So she sounded the alarm. You know what she's doing right now? She's doing damage control. Because disasters like this, heads will roll. And she's making sure her head don't go on the guillotine. Huh. That's a smart play right there. Mama ain't raised no dummy.
Representative of the city says the cuts that were made and signed did not affect the response to the fire that is being criticized, the response that is being criticized by so many people. What is going through your mind?
Yeah, just, again, the full transparency of the documentation, of being able to sound the alarm.
Does it make you mad?
I don't know if it makes me mad. In the end, that is my job as a chief, to make sure that my voice is heard and my voice is amplified from the needs of what our people need to do their job.
So tell the city, tell the residents, tell the people that are out there. I mean, thousands and thousands of people have lost their homes, and they're looking to blame someone, and it's not the Santa Ana winds necessarily.
She's saying, well, I know they're going to blame somebody. Just so they know, I'm not a politician. I'm just a city worker, and I come to work to do my job, and the politicians ain't giving me the tools for my job. That's money and water. So, look at them. That's what she's doing right now. And I like this reporter. These Fox reporters, they're relentless. They go at you. They give you the tough questions. I like fair, tough questions. Get them to speak the truth. Say it out loud.
They are looking to blame administrators.
Right.
What is the message here? And have you had a one-on-one with the Mayor Bass and said, hey, I told you so. I told you this was going to affect our ability to respond to a major emergency.
I would start with a message to the community. I think they already know in their hearts that our LAFD firefighters are here to serve them, first and foremost. Again, none of us on the fire department are politicians. We're public servants first. We took an oath to serve the public before ourselves and even before our families. So with that, I want to focus on path forward. I want to focus on what the LAFD needs, what I need as a fire chief, and what our people need to do their jobs to make sure that we can save lives and that we can protect property to the greatest capacity. But we need to be funded appropriately, and that's where my head is. You asked.
The mayor said it didn't affect your ability to respond. Did it affect LA City Fire's ability to respond, starting with the Palisade fire and then this domino effect of fires, including the Archer fire that we're seeing happen right now in Granada Hills?
Yeah, I think obviously any budget cut is going to impact our ability to provide service. That's at this point, that is a ground truth in regard to our ability. If there's a budget cut, we had to pull from somewhere else. What does that mean? That doesn't get done. There's delays. So in the end, again, I'm going to focus on getting us what we need from this particular catastrophe and disaster and how much it's impacted the communities that we love. I got to go after the things that will help our firefighters, keep them safe, and make sure that if and when this ever happens again, that we're properly funded and that we have the ability to do our jobs and keep people safe.
What is your message to city administrators, starting with Mayor Bass?
My message is the fire department needs to be properly funded.
And it's not.
It's not at this point, and we've got the justification. We know where our gaps in service are. We know we need 62 new fire stations. We need to double the size of our firefighters. The growth of this city since 1960 has doubled, and we have less fire stations.
Let's repeat that, because those numbers are a little jarring.
That's the thing. People don't know. They're in the city. They don't know what's really going on. These politicians playing games and shuffling money all over the place. The reason why, so FYI, if you didn't know, the reason why she keep talking about funding is because the mayor cut their funding. Whatever about millions or whatever billions they had, LA, fire department, she took away 17 point some million. And guess what she took? Guess where the money went? Into the migrant crisis. The illegal migrant crisis. That's where the money went. I ain't want to harp on it too long. Let's go.
20 years ago, you had more fire stations than you had now?
We had 112 fire stations. Now we have 106. And since 2010, we've had an increase, doubled our call volume, which is firefighters responding to calls, 55% increase with 68 less firefighters.
So the city funding is not keeping up with the city's needs in real time.
No, and that's what our firefighters need.
Wow. See that? That is crazy. And the thing is, it never dawned on me. I was having a conversation with someone, and they said firefighters do a lot of work. I like, man, they always at the firehouse chilling, doing nothing. Every call, let's think about it. Every call there is, firefighters go to it. Car accidents, home fires, cats in a tree, dog in the lake. No matter what it is, the firefighters always zipping around the city. Always. So if you're cutting them the resources, hey, you're gonna have things happening like this. Now, I believe, just like New York Fire Department, how they bounce around, they open these. It's annoying when they do it, but now I know. Continue, buddies. You could block traffic how much you want. You could open fire hydrants. You could make my car all dirty after I just washed it. You could keep doing it, man. Yeah. Thank you guys for your hard work. Yeah. You take away these people resources, and then they're gonna have problems. Right? And we not in this interview here, we're not talking about they failed policy about their water and management and storage and all the above, But I just want you to see that she's making sure she take a preemptive strike. She letting everybody know, listen, guys, you saw we were there at the fire, but we didn't have water. The water that we have no control over, okay? So, even though they crying DEI and all the above, listen, we had nothing to do with the fact it had no water. That's what she's doing right now. Damage control. And she's doing real good because she come with receipts and stats. I ain't show you the receipts yet. You're going to see it.
Okay. I'm going to ask you again. I'm going to continue pressing you on this. In your mind, what were you thinking when you hear all those city leaders say, it didn't affect, everything was great, it's unprecedented and la, la, la. And yes, the Santa Ana winds are unprecedented. We don't have them in January. We all know that. What was going through your heart?
What's going through my heart is that our firefighters, the community's firefighters, LAFD firefighters need to be properly funded. We need to be supported so that they can do their jobs.
And let me show you real quick. Photographer
Now
Tony
watch
Boutique,
this,
I'm going to
watch
ask you
this.
to pan over to that table. Tell me what I'm looking at. This is memo after memo after memo, including to the Board of
Cameraman, go
Fire
zoom in.
Commissioners, where you pointed out your
Look at that. She was like, I ain't taking no blame for this. I'm going to show the world because the world is watching, right? I have all the proof that I send these memos to these people, all these politicians, and they was not listening. She was like, nah, I'm going to take this fire truck and back it all the way up over you. That's what she's doing right now. So guess what happened, right? It have things they could have done. Same way New York Fire Department go around and open the fire hydrants and stuff, and they would know, before something actually happened, that, hey, what's going on here? Let's call DEP, yeah, whatever, right? They would call these people maybe. I don't know how they do it, but you catch what I'm saying, right? You come, they turn the faucet, no water, they make a adjustment. Now, what she's saying is because they take away 17 plus million from them, the overtime needed or the, you got to pay somebody to go do that, right? They couldn't do that, so they prioritized other things. So now when they actually went out there, it had no water. Hey, listen, man, even though maybe she was supposed to do that, check, hydrants, or we couldn't pay for it because you took money away from us. Either way, she dodging them bullets like Neo in Matrix. Ooh. Yeah. She doing good. Receipts. Nobody can say nothing. They can't say they never got it because it's there. Paper form, email form, all the above.
concerned that you were not going to adequately be able to respond to a wildfire, an earthquake, everything that we see precisely in the city.
That's my job as a chief, is to take a big step back and understand where and how can we better serve the community as a community needs more.
You guys could pause that and read it whenever you get time.
we need to have more to make sure that our firefighters can serve them. I identified early, my team identified early, labor identified early that we have service gaps. So when you talk about sounding the alarm and asking and requesting budgets that are easily justifiable based off of the data, real data, shows what the fire department needs to serve this beautiful city and the beautiful community that we swore that we would. That's what that is about. It is the follow-up. It's showing and justifying where our gaps are, and it's raising and sounding the alarm that the fire department is underfunded, understaffed, and under-resourced.
Do you believe, had your budget concerns been properly addressed in the new fiscal year, would we have seen the same outcome that we are seeing now with thousands and thousands, unprecedented numbers of structures, homes, businesses lost? Would the outcome have been different if they had listened to you?
I do believe if we would have set ourselves up appropriately over the past 3 years, we would have been in a better position of what had happened here in the city where we lost homes and we lost lives.
That has to be very emotional for you. This is your job, but this has to be emotional.
This is more than a job to us. This is who we are. This is our duty. And when you don't have that ability and people don't listen, that's why I'm talking to you right now. The fire department needs to be funded appropriately so that I can look any community member in the eye and say, your LAFD's got your back.
And right now you can't?
Right now, no. And that's why I'm here.
Yo, that cameraman, and yo, he's something else. He was like, let me get a slow zoom in. And he pushed in to get the emotion in her face. And she nailed it. Listen. This is the end of the video right here because I want you guys to see. She's very smart. She taken a preemptive strike to let them know, listen, I ain't going down for this. The mayor is to blame because she keeps saying funded because she ain't talking about water and all these different things because that's other people that dropped the ball as well. We're going to get to them. We're going to have some videos to show about that right there. But she's slick, smart. And I don't know about you, but I think the mayor is to blame. And on top of that, she just letting the people know, blame the officials. She's just a worker bee. Oh, man. Well, listen, I hope you guys enjoyed this one. Like, subscribe, share it to a friend. See you guys in the next video. Peace.